Hello and welcome to our daily news program broadcast to you live on Canal Algérie. Coming up next. The President of the Republic receives the President of Sawt al-Shab Party, Lamin Osmani, at the latter's request. The Army General Saeed Shingreha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, carries out a working and inspection visit in the 2nd military region in Oran province and reiterates Algeria's support for the just causes, with the Palestinian and the Western Saharan causes at the top of the list. In our today's bulletin, we will learn more about the relaunch of Al Hajjar Steel Complex. The government recovered non-exploited land inside and outside this complex that will be used for new investment projects. Welcome again. Those were the headlines. First off, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received this Monday the President of the party, Sawt al-Shab, or the Voice of the People, Lamin Osmani, at the latter's request. This meeting was an opportunity for Lamin Osmani to highlight the observed commitment of the head of state to strengthen national achievements and continue efforts to engage youth in the politic life. Let's have a listen.
The Presidency of the Republic has accustomed us to this type of responsible dialogue and discussion, and it was an opportunity to discuss several topics. During this meeting, we wanted to convey the citizens' concerns to the President of the Republic, and we noted his strong insistence on improving purchasing power. The evidence is the measure taken in this context, and we also reviewed support for youth and society in general in political life. In order to protect and preserve the nation, the President of the Republic is determined to continue his work so that young people can assume political responsibilities, and this will highlight Algerian skills, especially in the face of current challenges, namely industrialization, agricultural industry, economic diversification and exports. This new approach adopted by the Presidency of the Republic aims to involve all segments of society in political life. We, as a political class, must unite our efforts first in recognition of the sacrifices of the martyrs, and we must fulfill our promises, especially with the honorable position towards the Palestinian issue, which reflects the Algerian people's adherence to their identity, which the President of the Republic proudly expressed. Adding to this, the international challenges, which means that Algeria needs, more than ever before, a national unity capable of defending the nation's interests and honor with blood and knowledge as well.
In a different context and as part of his working and inspection visits to the different military regions, the Army General Saeed Shingreha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, started this Monday a visit to the 2nd military region in Oran province. Raina al-Bahri with the details.
After the welcome ceremony by Major General Mohammed Tayyib Brakni, commander of the 2nd Military Region, the Army General observed a minute of silence for the soul of the late Mujahid Ahmed Boujnan, known as Si Abbas, after whom the headquarters command was named. He also placed a wreath of flower in front of his commemorative stele, before reciting Al-Fatiha for his soul and the souls of our valiant martyrs. During his meeting with the leaders and members of the 2nd Military Region, the Army General delivered an orientation speech which was broadcasted via video conference across all units of the region. In this meeting, he stressed that Algeria, that suffered from the scourges of colonialism for more than a century, will remain loyal to its position toward just causes around the world, most notably the Palestinian and the Sahrawi files, stressing that Algeria's support for these two issues is clear and tangible and was reflected in official statements to the highest authorities in the country, which condemned the attacks on the Palestinian people and took decisions to receive the wounded, especially children, in national hospitals and send humanitarian medical aid to the Palestinians in Gaza. The Army General praised the great steps taken by our country in recent years, calling on all patriots to join the project of the birth of a new Algeria, to thwart all hostile plans that target the security and stability of our country. He also recalled for adherence to the project of the renaissance of a new Algeria, which is led with all rigor, perseverance and strong determination by the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Minister of National Defense, Abdelmajid Tebboune, who highlighted in his landmark and historic speech before the representatives of the two chambers of parliament, with supporting figures, the major steps that Algeria has made during the past 4 years on the path of development and progress, adding that the People's National Army is confident in this honest national operation that was completed successfully in the service of the nation and the citizen. At the end, the Army General followed with interest the interventions of the region's officials before giving them instructions and directives, especially about the necessity of continuing the combat readiness efforts in light of the current year 2023-2024, with the aim of maintaining the operational readiness of all units of the 2nd Military Region.
To the latest sports news, and in a closely contested game as part of the Africa Cup of Nations being held in Côte d'Ivoire, Algeria and Angola played to an evenly matched 1-1 draw in the Peace Stadium in Bouaké. Angola equalized after a penalty shootout to counter Algeria's initial lead. We wish better luck for our national team in the upcoming matches.
ويترك الفرحة على المدرج من يوسف إلى بغداد. سجل هاك الكرة، سجل يا لهم
مع بولولو بقوة يعدل النتيجة. نعم في المرة الأولى دخل.
And in today's economic file, the Minister of Industry and Pharmaceutical Production carried out a visit to the steel complex of Al-Hajjar. Ali Aoun revealed that the government recovered non-exploited land inside and outside of the complex. This land will be used in the near future for new investment projects. Story by Yasin Hamdi.
The Minister of Industry and Pharmaceutical Production, Ali Aoun, visited the steel complex of Al-Hajjar for the third time in less than a year. He announced the recovery of 215 hectares of land inside and outside the installation, following the instructions of the President of the Republic.
المساحة حوالي 215
The area is approximately 215 hectares. The first plot of land is inside the complex. The second and the third plots are around the complex. Once recovered, this industrial land will be used for the construction of steel specialized factories. It will, of course, be the property of the government. We will do what is necessary to regularize this situation.
لتدخل في نفس المهنة نتاع سيدار.
The minister inquired about the functioning of the blast furnace number 2 that resumed its activities in the last December after 3 months of coke supply disruption. The complex of Al-Hajjar benefited from a relaunch plan from The complex of Al-Hajjar will benefit from a relaunch plan from 2024 to 2028.
في 2024 هناك محورين
We focused our ongoing year action on two axes. The first one aims to relaunch research continuously and reach a production that exceeds 600,000 tons. The second one is about the presentation of the investment plan that we submitted today to the Minister.
The new relaunch plan will allow the complex of Al Hajjar, through the increase of its capacities, to contribute to the great projects that will be launched soon. This new plan will allow the review of the complex functioning process that will be supplied for the first time with the iron ore from Garaj Bilat, in addition to the iron from Al-Wanza and Bukhadra. The authorities focus on dialogue and collaboration between the administration and the social partners to reach the goals of the new development plan. The exports of the complex that employs 5,605 workers reached $22 million in 2023.
30 applications for the establishment of automotive factories in the national territory have been received by the Ministry of Industry. Among these applications are the Chinese companies JAG and Geely, as well as the Korean company Hyundai. The president of the Technical Secretariat for Files Monitoring within the ministry provided details during an interview with Al Mujahid newspaper. Muqaddad Aggoun highlighted that a factory by the Chinese company Chery will be set up in Burj Barrij following last month's launch of the Italian factory Fiat in Oran province. The long-term goal is to host up to 8 manufacturers supported by a network of subcontractors. Additionally, the ministry received 127 eligible applications for vehicle imports, with 80 obtaining preliminary authorizations. Still in the same economic file, the number of startups in 2023 has reached 5,000 thanks to the government's implementation of the President's directives, notably with the interest he grants to the innovative youth. Najah Tayyar has the details.
Thanks to the authorities' facilitation and support measures, hundreds of startups have been created in 2023, such as this consulting cabinet gathering Algerian graduates who practice their skills by creating startups due to the client's needs.
We like the concept of this cabinet, also the versatility and the variety project ideas they suggest.
What I like most is that every time there's an event, they ask us to attend and exchange with people in the domain which help us improve. The youth in this cabinet are not only improving their skills in startups creating and solving of issues, but they are also learning about the leadership. The first advice we have learned here is to focus on markets we target and the issues we have to solve, to always learn about the new technologies and also how to inspire a team to create a new project. Karim, the enterprise founder, has begun his career in finance and project management before creating a consulting cabinet and returning to the country with an added value for Algeria's promising economic ecosystem.
Algerians are working in the most successful enterprises all around the world, meaning they have the skills and the knowledge to create effective business models for national companies. There are Algerians who have relaunched their startups in Algeria to transfer their skills and make Algeria the base of their projects.
This consulting cabinet gathering Algerian qualified youth has created the startup Right Now, which provides solutions based on new technologies. Also startups incubator called Tech2 Hub, from which tens of young entrepreneurs are gaining experience.
In a different context, our colleague at the EPTV, Brahim Sub'oun, who passed away yesterday following a heart attack, was buried today at the Babzouar cemetery here in Algiers. The burial ceremony took place in the presence of numerous friends, colleagues and family members. Ibrahim Sub'oun was well known for his kindness and was highly appreciated by his colleagues and the ones around him. May Allah welcome him in his vast paradise. In a different context, and in order to expedite aid delivery to the Gaza Strip in a faster and safer manner, the appeal comes from UN agencies present in the enclave struggling to cope with the magnitude of the catastrophe. The Palestinians are facing a severe shortage of food, clean water and medical assistance, as stated by the UN. In addition to the blockade, Zionist artillery bombardments and shootings have persisted for the last 101 days, targeting civilians and resulting in the tragic loss of innocent women and children, whereas the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for an immediate ceasefire. In another topic, the Belgian public broadcaster RTBF recently broadcast an investigation regarding the Moroccan influence in Belgium, highlighting suspicious diplomatic practices, particularly in the Western Saharan file. Najah Tayyar explains.
The inquiry by the Belgian Programme Investigation meticulously analyzed the activities of Moroccan diplomacy in Belgium over a period of 8 months, revealing the extent of lobbying, disinformation and intimidation orchestrated by the Moroccan embassy in Brussels. The Western Sahara and the territory occupied by the Mersin regime for 50 years remains at the center of the Moroccan maneuvers and influence, and the country appears to be mobilizing considerable resources to defend its interests in the colonized territory, despite the opposition from the Polisario Front and the United Nations. The investigative report also revealed the way in which the Moroccan embassy in Brussels exerts pressure on anyone who opposes the Moroccan vision of the Western Sahara. Another element revealed during the investigation was the production of a propaganda film by the Belgian MP of Moroccan origins, Latifa Ait Bala. These films, financed by Morocco and broadcast in Belgian political circles, raise fundamental questions about foreign interference in the affairs of sovereign country, according to the Belgian public television. These practices raise questions about the state of democracy in Belgium and highlight the challenges that Belgium must face in order to preserve its decision-making autonomy in the face of external influences.
And with that, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for tuning in.